Dwane, is there a lot left on the table within this group? Is it a group that's, if everything goes together, is a 45-win team, or?
There's a lot. I look at this season, Michael, as a 3-season team, so to speak. The terrible start. I mean, there's no excuse for that. There's a lot of excuses, but it comes down to we were 4-19. Then we play 500 basketball, 30-29 after that. So with that, if we can get some of those games in the 4-19, if we can make Jonas grow up quickly in that 4-19, then he becomes the guy we have at the end. If we had that player at the beginning, and that makes a big difference. But and then we have the post trade with Rudy. So there's 3 different seasons. I think with that group, with time, with training camp, with some tweaks, I know Brian and Ed are looking to do with the team. It's nothing major, but with that speaks, we should expect to get a lot more wins next year and expect to be in the playoffs. I mean, not guaranteeing the playoffs, but expect to be in the playoffs because of that's the next step of progression in the plan. And it's funny, you kind of laugh because you hear about how disappointing, how terrible a season we had. Well, this is, in the plan we talked about. I don't think anybody promised the playoffs. I said we'd be knocking on the door, and we did. We had a stretch there at the middle of the year. I think it was Cleveland, Washington, Milwaukee, or they stretching there somewhere. We had a chance. We stepping on the door. We're knocking on it. We didn't get it done, whatever reason. Rudy has a bad back, that stretch of games. We had a chance to get Milwaukee. He didn't play. So we had a chance. We didn't, for whatever reasons. The reason's not important. We didn't get it done, and that's on all of us. But again, in that, I will say, too, that was a point of the season where our team will learn to grow, will learn to win games like that when the pressure is at its utmost, because that's when you're learning how to win in big games. And so I thought that was our opportunity. We were knocking on the door at that time. We were 3.5, 4 games out of the playoffs, and that was our defining moment to get into the playoffs.
Who are the teams that you look at that serve as a proper comparable for this group? I mean, people get caught up in Miami, whatever. But who out there seems to be getting it done?
As far as how we're trying to emulate? Well, I tell you who went through the similar process with similar type athletes is Indiana. If you notice, remember they had Granger, they brought in George, they had Hibbert there. It took them a little while, a few years to get it going, get it together. They added a few pieces. It took Stevenson a few years, he's a lot like Terrence Ross, to come in and gel together. They brought in a point guard in Hill to go in and kind of glue it all together, but it took them a while. It didn't happen overnight. They did it, a lot of it organically, I think is the word. But it was so I look at Indiana as kind of the kind of the example that we should go by, or can go by, or a lot like, and go by. And now look at them; they're one of the top 3 defensive teams in the league, and very efficient offensively, and play the style that I think wins in the playoffs.